Good morning or good afternoon, and thank you for visiting my channel again. I'm going to show you how to make a piece of Tyvek, and you'll see that in the painting. And this is just a short clip of one of the ways that I make my Tyvek. I'll explain what the product is, how to use it, how beautiful it is. I have two different ways that I make the Tyvek into pieces of medium that I could later add to my art like I did on the initial painting. So hang on, and soon we'll get to the video, and thank you again for joining me. I hope you enjoy this. I'm going to demonstrate a substrate that will be new to a lot of people, and it was new to me until I was talking to an artist friend of mine, and they told me that they use this, and it's called Tyvek. Now, Tyvek is a product that is a highly densitive polyurethane fiber sensitive synthetic material. It's like a plastic. That's why when you use the iron, I actually have an iron that I use just for my art. It's used as a house wrap to protect a building during construction. And I learned about this material through several other artists, and then I saw a demo by Carol Nelson that was, she really kind of gave me more of a handle on how to use this material. And this is what it looks like. It's shiny on one side and kind of duller on the other. And the way this material is used is you heat it with an iron, and you use an iron around on the cotton setting. Now, I initially had an iron that was was cordless, and I didn't like it as well. So I used one with a cord, and you can put a piece of freezer paper or paper in between the two, but I like the feel of it without it. But the look that you get on this paper, the more practice you do with this paper, the more creative looks you can get. It's kind of like you can't control it, but still some of the pieces that I got with this product are going to be really a lot of fun to use in my art. I went ahead and I did some, and I kept it white. You can see how beautiful it looks with some of the holes in it. But Carol suggests painting it first, so I'm going to go ahead and put like a light wash on this. You have to wait till it dries. And again, you paint on you iron it on the side that's not painted. But you can still paint the product after it's heated up. There's no reason why you can't. So I'm just going to demo using the paint. It's got to really dry. I like a little lighter look. I mean, it looks beautiful, darker, but I like the lighter look. And I'm going to add just some sprinkles. That's going to take a bit to dry. So I'm going to take another piece and then just lightly put some of this on it. My favorite color is turquoise. I use the goldens because it's very liquidy. You cannot use tube paints for this. It will be too thick for the look that you want. I'm using goldens. You can see the grain, and that's really what you want from it, is to see the grain through the paper. So basically that's what you can see through that. Now, that's almost dry in itself. But you rip these up, like this one, while these are drying, you could even go in, and you can really use either side when you're done, but you can go in after and paint these and use these. They're just beautiful. And I think another way to move the paint around is to do like a water spray on it. So just let your imagination run with how you want to use it. Use your regular techniques that you would in your art practice and put them into this Tyvek. So that piece I'm going to let dry. So let me go into the demo itself. These pieces to the side. Paint to the side. I'm going to do this piece since it has pretty much dried. I like to keep my iron, I like to keep my products, my iron, all my supplies and everything separate from my household items so that I don't use them or I've accidentally put some, I mean you can see on the end here I do have some of the Tyvek on the iron, but it's not on iron that I'm using on my clothes. Okay, now the motion for this is on between cotton and wool, and the motion you have to get used to, and as you're putting it down, the iron goes through cycles. So sometimes you're going to put it down, it's going to be hot, sometimes you're going to put it down, it's going to be cooled off, but it's not, you're not going to iron your paper, you're just doing motions like this. Now the first time you do this, it is hotter, and you can go back on this paper and it actually gets stronger. But as it curls, you're going to pull the curls out so to try to make it flat. And you can get the feel, and I think the more that you work with this material, it almost takes a practicing cycle to get the material to do what you want it to do. It's not something that first time you do it, it's going to feel like, wow, I got that down. At least it wasn't for me. So I'm getting some really pretty, how beautiful that is. And then again, the second time, it's getting harder as I'm doing it. I'm going to pull these out. And you'll get a feel for it after you do it for a while. And you'll know when your piece is done. So I'm doing like maybe 3 seconds, maybe 5 seconds as it's gotten a little bit more into the cycle. Just press it down, pull it up, press it down, pull it up. I'm getting some beautiful. I could stop there because that's at a place where a lot of this I can really use. You don't want to go too far. So I like what I've done. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. Okay, the heat gun has to be strong enough to provide a lot of heat. If you do it with just a small heat gun, it's not going to give you enough power. I actually have plastic on this because I do a lot of resin. But till you get to a piece that you like. Now I'm liking that. I might just leave this over here and see if I can touch up on this other side. Okay, so I like what I've done here. I like this. This will look really beautiful in a project. Okay, now let me show you how I do the bead. First of all, I take the paper, and again, I paint the paper, and then I cut them into strips. Of course, they've blown away, but I cut them into strips, kind of triangle strips. So I'm going to put them down, and I'll show you how to do that. But I have the triangle strip wrapped around, this is actually a chopstick with a pin in it to hold it in place. I'm just going to heat it. You've got a beautiful bead. This is where you can wrap the wire. Where's the one with the wire? You can take that, wrap the wire around it, and add beads to it. Very simple. So let me just show you another one where I take the paper that I've cut and I wrap it around the stick. The reason why I hold it with a pin is because it's going to be too hot to hold the paper in its place with your finger. So I just kind of push that in, push the pin in, let's do another bead. So we heat it. I heated that one just a little bit more, no reason why. Actually, take it down the skinny end. And there you go, you've got another beautiful bead. And that's when you just take your little seed pearls of some kind and some wire. I think these are the right size. See if they fit on here. Let's maybe add some blue. Let's see if the blue. So what I do is I usually make a little curl on the end of the wire. Nice and tight there. And so my wire's about there. Let's add like a soft blue. Place the bead about where you want it. Okay, let's add one more. Let's do one more of the beautiful blue. Put all those kind of on the top. And if you want, I'm just going to actually wrap this all the way around and make it a real pretty little tight wrap on the end. Put that down. Okay, so there's a bead made out of the Tyvek. And you can imagine how beautiful that will look against a piece. This is a little bit lighter, so maybe or we're going to be doing the papers in a minute, but against maybe white in a paper. So that's the Tyvek, and this particular I would cut this, and I don't want to cut it now because I'm going to show you how you can take papers, and we're going to do a project where we lay the papers out and just cut them and lay them down in a series so that we can add them to your art. So there's the Tyvek. So hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to demonstrate using some sepia on the Tyvek paper and how it gives it a beautiful little look. Just take a little bit of sepia. In fact, I'm going to water it down. Kind of just antiques the paper. This goes with so many different, it goes good with turquoises, it goes good with my golds. I do a lot of golds, and going to get it watery, and you're going to take your cloth and you're just going to wipe over. So you get a real antique-y look. And brush this on the top over here. Okay. Take some of the copper. Add that to the top. This has got some deeper of the sepia, so I'm going to rub this right on the top. All right. Hope you enjoyed that presentation.